We're live from the CNN News 18 primetime studio, brought to you by Green Lamb Laminates. Viewers, the Gandhis are to the manner born, aren't they? They were ascended to positions of immense power like latter-day monarchs on the back of their surnames and the civility of scores of party cadre. No one has ever stood up and questioned their credentials from within the Congress party. And when the odd subordinate has dared to speak up, to question them, to hold up the mirror, the consequences have been catastrophic for that person. At one time, viewers, the party was split down the middle by Indira Gandhi because she couldn't countenance somebody challenging her birthright. Locked away in their ivory tower, it must be difficult to identify with the trials and tribulations of the masses at any length of time. Even when, and you will remember this, viewers, even when Rahul Gandhi has walked among the masses, it has proven to be so onerous a duty that he's had to take a break, a holiday, go off to some idyllic destination to rejuvenate, recalibrate, relax. So it comes as no surprise that Rahul Gandhi was easily bored with President Droupadi Murmu's address in Parliament, where she diligently outlined what needs to be done to serve the marginalized classes, the indigent and the ostracized. Rahul Gandhi clearly was in the mood to be entertained, someone to lift his boredom. Perhaps he contemptuously imagines that the President of India ought to be nothing more than a jester. Sonia Gandhi, viewers, who is Rahul Gandhi's mother and fellow Lok Sabha MP, was also less than impressed, as she said, by President Murmu's speaking skills. Gandhi said the President, and I quote her, could hardly speak, unquote, and then went on to call her a, quote, poor thing, unquote, for the labored manner of her delivery, of her speech delivery, of her iteration, viewers. Sonia Gandhi forgot that the President, who is in Odia, from a disadvantaged tribal family, had beaten great odds to educate herself, to get as far as she has got. There was no daddy picking up the phone to get admissions into the top colleges of the world. To expect her to speak the Queen's English is not just condescending, but also classist, and to be honest, betrays a colonial mindset, viewers. Listen in.
Boring.
No comment.
No, the poor lady, President.
Repeating the same thing
No,
again
she
and
could
again.
only speak for you.
Listen in again, viewers. We'll play that out again. Just watch. Just look at the body language once again, and then I'll elaborate on that.
Boring.
No comment.
No, the poor lady, President.
Repeating the same thing
No,
again
she
and
could
again.
only speak for you.
So you hardly speak, the poor thing. Just look at the body language of the Gandhis in that frame. Doesn't it appear as if though they are clearly playing to the galleries? Doesn't it appear that they are relishing the spotlight? And there was plenty of it, viewers. Even if you did believe something in this sort of patronizing manner, why would you want to express it in front of all the cameras? Perhaps they also were relishing the chance at taking a personal jibe at the President. I don't know, viewers. It certainly appears like that. Sonia Gandhi, in fact, appears very amused, doesn't she, by her own sarcasm. And there's a faint smile, if you notice, in those pictures that hangs over her lips when she makes that comment. Just look at those pictures, viewers. There, there's a hint of it. And Priyanka appears to exchange an appreciative glance with her brother. Label the President a tired poor thing, viewers. This is what the President was speaking about at length, laboriously, because these are the kind of points that need to be labored upon, viewers. Listen.
आज देश बड़े निर्णयों और नीतियों को असाधारण गति से लागू होते देख रहा है। और इन निर्णयों में देश की गरीब, मध्यम वर्ग, युवा, महिलाओं, किसानों को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता मिली। मेरी सरकार का मंत्र है सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास, और इस मंत्रों का एक ही लक्ष्य है, विकसित भारत का निर्माण। माननीय सदस्यगण, जब देश के विकास का लाभ अंतिम पायदान पर खड़े व्यक्ति को भी मिलने लगता है तो भी विकास सार्थक होता है। मेरी अंत्योदय की वह भावना है जिसके प्रति मेरी सरकार संकल्पित रही है।
Is it a crime, viewers, to labor a point about disenfranchisement? Is it boring? The Prime Minister, who has been a victim of patrician Congress condescension, slammed the Gandhis for displaying a sense of monarchical entitlement. Listen in.
कांग्रेस का शाही परिवार उनके अपमान पर उतर आया है। शाही परिवार के एक सदस्य ने कहा कि आदिवासी बेटी ने बोरिंग भाषण दिया। दूसरी सदस्य तो इससे भी एक कदम आगे बढ़ गई। उन्होंने राष्ट्रपति जी को पुअर थिंग कहा, गरीब कहा और चीज कहा, थकी हुई कहा। एक आदिवासी बेटी का बोलना इनको बोरिंग लगता है। ये देश के 10 करोड़ आदिवासी भाई बहनों का अपमान है।
Later, in an effort to damage control, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra defended her mother, saying she was a 78-year-old lady. As if age would explain Sonia Gandhi's impatience. If age is the problem, then imagine how impatient the 82-year-old Congress President Mr. Kharge must be, viewers. And what explains the boredom of a 50-something perennially evergreen Rahul Gandhi? Age isn't the problem, mindset is, as some people are saying today on social media across the length and breadth of the country. The patricians in the Congress have been patronizing in the past too when it comes to Droupadi Murmu. Ajoy Kumar, on July 13th, 2022, he is of course a member of the Congress party, said NDA's presidential candidate Droupadi Murmu represents a very evil philosophy of India. I don't know, viewers, what he's talking about. A.R. Chaudhary, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, July 29, 2022, apologized to President Murmu for his Rashtrapatni remark. He called her a Rashtrapatni, viewers, objectifying the president. Udit Raj, October 5th, 2022, said, no country should get a president like Droupadi Murmu. Chamchagiri also has its limits, unquote. This brings us to ask several questions. What is so boring about President Murmu talking at length about marginalized Indians and their needs? Isn't the phrase, quote, poor thing, unquote, or bechari, insulting to the dignity of an individual who takes pride in having independently made her way through life? Isn't labeling Murmu's style of delivery as tired an insult to the courage it took for her to speak in a language other than her native tongue? Is the Congress party's problem with President Murmu's speech or with the personage of the president itself? Viewers, we have to ask these questions tonight. This is a very serious debate. It's a very serious debate about class struggle in this country, about social upward mobility in this country, about status, about aspiration. Let's open this up, viewers, and let's get in Nikul Patel of the Congress and straight up BJP national spokesperson Sanju Verma. Before we proceed, I want to begin by asking you, Mr. Nikul Patel, what do you mean by this phrase poor thing, tired poor thing, bechari? Isn't the phrase insulting to the dignity of an individual who takes pride in having independently made her way through life, sir?
Before I start answering your question, I would like to say that can I criticize your debate topic today?
Yeah, of course, sir. Go ahead.
So it's a right of an individual whether what kind of criticism, what he wants or she wants to say about anything, what he observes in the country. I think there is nowhere in the constitution written that you cannot criticize the event or a debate or a speech anywhere in the country. Are you agreeing to it?
Depends, sir, on the choice of words you use. Quite obviously, isn't it? That's common sense. If I use an expletive, if I use a disparaging statement, if I use an insult to criticize somebody or to describe somebody or to label somebody, do you think that is nice? I know, sir, you come from a party where one of your members at one time called women dented and painted. Is that a critic? Is that a critic, sir, or is that an insult? I know you come from an alliance where one man got up in parliament and said, let me tell you, boys will be boys. And you come from a party where one of your seniors said, hua to hua, about Sikh genocide. So it depends, sir. You can be critical. But the choice of words you use, sir, makes all the difference. Now, if you think calling the President of India a poor thing, as if she is someone who needs affirmation constantly from someone else, is to be very patronizing. It is also to be sexist, patriarchal, and most importantly, sir, disparaging of her ability to speak for herself, stand for herself, which she has done demonstrably because she comes from nowhere. She came from a background where she had almost nothing, not even 2 rotis a day. So are you trying to suggest that she came up because of some person's patronage, because she's a chamcha, as some of your colleagues have said? If that is the case, sir, please go ahead.
See, I know I am coming from the party where Mahatma Gandhi was being shot dead, by whom we know all. I know that I am coming from the party where a prime minister like Indira Gandhi has been wounded 32 rounds in her body and it was like a charney. I know I am coming from the party where our prime minister has been bomb blast by some some groups of that people who had sent a peacekeeping force to the Sri Lanka. And I am very proud for my party. I am coming from the party where they have uplifted a scheduled tribe people, and I myself belong to scheduled tribe candidate and know how the policies of Congress has been framed to upliftment the people who are belonging to such.
Can I then ask you a question? Look, I am not in any way saying that your party and the leaders of the party have not paid the ultimate price, sacrificed their life, call it what you want to. But what has that got to do? No, 1 second. What has that got to... 1 second, sir, please. Patel Saab, what has that got to do with the choice of words that your current leadership is using to describe the President of India? I don't understand. If you can draw that link, it will help my debate and the viewer. Number 2, sir, let me also tell you one thing. And this is respectfully, sir, to you. Nikulji, if you believe in the upliftment of those who are the most backward, why did you oppose the candidature of Droupadi Murmu? Why did you not let her contest the election, win the election uncontested? You put a candidate, and then some of your leaders made the worst. And I've quoted those statements. Look at this statement. Do you think this statement is befitting of a Congress member of parliament or one-time member of parliament and senior leader? NDA's presidential candidate Droupadi Murmu represents a very evil philosophy of India. Just because she's a tribal and you don't conform to tribal values, you think they're evil?
I think you are telling that nobody should put their candidate to the Representative of People's Act when there is a democratic process in the country.
No, what are you saying, Mr. Patel? I'm just saying that if you respect somebody so much, why would you go out of your way to block the creation of history? I can understand if against Miss Murmu you decided to field another tribal woman. I could have understood. You yourself have accused the BJP of not letting, for example, a Dalit to rise to the position of a president of the party. You yourself have said it. So are you saying that all those elections should be uncontested? So please, sir, please balance out the debate by picking like-for-like examples.
You are putting logical arguments. I am putting my logical arguments. Let people of the country decide.
Fair enough. Let me bring in Sanju Verma. I want to ask Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, what do you make today of this statement? Why are you so agitated? Nikul Patel is saying, and he's saying it very openly and clearly, we have a right to criticize. What's your problem? Aren't we living in a democracy? Accept it.
Rahul, first and foremost, let's get one thing very clear. That Sonia Gandhi's derogatory statement saying, oh, Droupadi Murmu must be tired, bechari, poor lady. This was condescending. This was patronizing at various levels. And if you look at the history of Congress leaders, which you've showcased at the start of your show, forget about distasteful remarks. I say that Sonia Gandhi also made a very sexist comment. Sexist comments are not limited to only the male gender. Droupadi Murmu has been subjected to color shaming. Droupadi Murmu has been subjected to age shaming. Droupadi Murmu has been subjected to body shaming. I can't forget Dr. Ajay Kumar, the national spokesperson of the Congress party, who speaks on the party's behalf and not as an individual, saying that, Droupadi Murmu represents the evil philosophy of the RSS and the BJP. Till date, there has been no apology forthcoming from his end. Don't forget, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, today the Congress may have virtually abandoned him, but he called Droupadi Murmu Rashtrapatni. And when questioned, he said, Arey, mujhe, I am not too well versed with the nuances and semantics of the Hindi language. And don't forget, the Trinamool Congress, Mamata Banerjee herself is the only woman chief minister of India, and her senior leader, Akhil Giri, at a public rally, he mocked Droupadi Murmu's physical appearance and said, have you seen her? How she looks? Have you looked at her color? And there were Trinamool Congress workers who were jeering, cheering, applauding, and Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Vadra, Sonia Gandhi, who have an opinion on just about everything under the sun, inke muh mein dahi jam gaya.
Okay.
Don't forget, this is the same Priyanka Vadra. 30 seconds more. This is the same Priyanka Vadra who ran to Hathras saying, Ladki hu, lad sakti hu. When Archana Gautam, the poster girl of Ladki hu, lad sakti hu, was beaten black and blue outside the AICC headquarters, Priyanka Vadra ke muh mein dahi jam gaya. And today, she actually supports her mother saying, oh, she's a 78-year-old lady. So, we were actually saying what we said in the context of her age. And my final point is this. Let's not forget the Samajwadi Party. Akhilesh Yadav, who's a close ally of the Congress party. Akhilesh Yadav, after Droupadi Murmu became the president, said, अरे द्रौपदी मुर्मू के प्रेसिडेंट बनने से क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? ये तो अंगूठा छाप है, जो मोदी जी कहेंगे ये तो उनकी कठपुतली है, वहीं पर अंगूठा और अंगूठे का छाप लगा देंगी. So from being called a charan chumbak to being called a chamchi to being called a handmaiden of the Modi government to being called an angutha chap.
Clearly.
I just want to end by saying one thing. Droupadi Murmu was a humble teacher at Rairanpur, became an MLA in Rairanpur, became a MOS independent charge in the Odisha cabinet ages back, and then became the longest serving governor of Jharkhand. And today, from a small place called Mayurbhanj, the remotest part of Odisha, she is today the second woman president after Pratibha Patil.
Is there a pattern, viewers?
And the only tribal president of India.
Is there a pattern? Viewers, is there a pattern? That's the fundamental question. I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan and also Dr. Suman C. Raman as well as Karan Verma. I want to bring them all three in now. Dr. Ranganathan, how do you view Sonia Gandhi's remarks? Many today on social media are saying it reeks of an entitled, snobbish way. BJP is calling her an elitist.
Now look, there are two things to this. One is you want to be kind to Sonia Gandhi. The other is you want to perceive Sonia Gandhi as what the reality of Sonia Gandhi is. So on point number one, this is a idiom, but this is a British idiom, to be honest. Like, poor thing, you poor thing, is kind of an affectionate thing. So if you want to be kind to her, maybe she was affectionate towards the president, honorable president. She said, oh, poor thing, got tired. I remember in England, I once asked my supervisor, how are you feeling? And he said, not too bad. And I said, why, what happened? Why are you feeling a little bit bad? So, these kind of expressions are very stereotypical. They're British. So I don't know why Sonia Gandhi is using it in the first place, because she's Italian. But even if, she's kind of imbibed that, if it is affectionate, then yes, it can be excused. But if it isn't, if she is trying to show the president her place, then I think it's reprehensible, because the honorable president is from the tribal community, and it is an absolute honor to have her as our president. And any disrespect to her is disrespect to India and to the chair of the president. So I think if she's done it deliberately, I think it's absolutely reprehensible and an apology is called for. And secondly, for her to do this, she's, first of all, let's stop calling such people elite. They're not elite. Elite are people who are meritorious, who've got some quality, who've, come to a place that they've deserved to come to. She's entitled. I don't know what her level of education is, maybe in terms of Indian equivalent 10th class or 12th class pass, whatever it may be. But I would never denigrate Sonia Gandhi in terms of that she is not educated or she was working in a lounge or a bar or whatever it was. But I would never denigrate her profession. Every profession is beautiful, it's wonderful. It's the people who make that profession. So I think that's where I would leave it. If you want to be kind to Sonia Gandhi, then yes, it was an expression of affection towards the president. And if you want to be realistic, knowing what Sonia Gandhi is all about, then yes, I think an apology is merited.
Okay, an apology is merited. Dr. Raman, let me come out to you because this is an important conversation we're having. And I started by saying that this sort of, hits at the class biases that still exist in our country. If you want to look at it from that framework, if you want to be charitable, of course, anything is excusable. So, Dr. Raman, can you explain to me why would now, you probably did so, I did so. I remember when Mr. Sharad Pawar led a rebellion against Sonia Gandhi, calling her a foreigner, Italian. And he said, I don't want to ever be ruled by an Italian, etc., etc. At that time, a large number of people said that this was a very unfortunate characterization. I'm sure you would have agreed with it. You would have not thought that that kind of label should have been used against someone who is married into a family who is, at least on the face of it, attempted to adopt Indian culture, traditions, etc. And some even say the religion. I don't know. The language, certainly. So, I have to ask you this. When someone like that turns around and labels Murmu's style of delivery as tired, as an insult, don't you think it's an insult to the courage it took for her to speak in a language other than her native tongue? I mean, Sonia Gandhi, of all people, should have identified with that and appreciated that. But that's the one thing she chose to pull her down.
Rahul, first of all, I want to congratulate you. Because on a day when the economic survey has been released, when the budget is coming up tomorrow, when the stampede has occurred, just a couple of days ago, we find that this is simply the most important topic for the prime time debate. So I congratulate you on that. The second part is, I think that you should be awarded a degree in psychology, clinical psychology, because you are able to read body language, you are able to read inflections in tone of voice, which most normal people who do not have a professional, you are able to see the smile.
I can't hear you. Something has gone wrong with your connection. Can you boost it, please?
Hello. Yeah.
I like to hear about myself. So boost your audio, please.
Yeah.
It's not coming through clearly.
I'll definitely. See, I was saying, Rahul, that you should be given a degree in clinical psychology.
Psychology, okay.
Because you're able to read body language. You're able to read inflections in tone of voice. You're able to see smiles, which none of us are able to see. So I want to congratulate you twice. First, for picking this topic today, which is truly a landmark topic that merits national attention. And second, also for the fact that your skills in body language. Look, this was a completely, to me, and I'm a doctor, to me this seemed to be just like an innocent statement, saying that here is a lady who has had to speak for 59 minutes, which is a long time. And she said, she very clearly said the first time she sounded tired, poor lady, right? If that is not an expression of sympathy, I don't know what is. I mean,
so how would you react to what Priyanka came out and said? Then Priyanka Gandhi Vadra need not have come out and said, oh, please, my mother didn't mean any insult. She's a 78-year-old lady.
Yes. What do you
mean by this? 78-year-old lady. Is she not in her cognitive senses? You explain to me, because you heard something. I also heard something. And
yes,
by the way, viewers, do stay on, because in about 7 minutes, one second. By the way, viewers, in about 7 minutes, we will be having a very deep dive into the economic survey on this very show, where Sanju Verma will be on the mat. Let me also tell you that. So at no level is anyone going to get a free pass. So I'll come to that in just a few moments, but I'm not going to take the bait. Dr. Raman thinks that this is a non-issue. Fair enough, Dr. Raman, good for you. If that is what you believe, that if someone can get up and dismiss someone's effort as a tired effort, then it's fine. I mean, I rest my case. Let me bring in Karan Verma on that point. No, it's okay, sir. It's okay. We don't want to go into more psychological analysis. You're probably right. Maybe we are reading too many things into this. Maybe we're all fools. Yes, sir, it's okay. Maybe we are all fools. Maybe the Times of India and all the newspapers tomorrow will not cover this item. And if they do, if they put it on the front page, I hope you will write a letter to the editor and tell them exactly what you're telling me. No, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, sir. It's okay, it's okay, sir, it's fine. I'm not sitting here and standing in judgment of anyone else. I'm only saying that tomorrow if the Times of India puts it or any other newspaper puts it on the front page, I just hope you'll have the grace to give them also a tongue lashing as you have given me. But I accept it, sir. It's your view. And if you don't think it's a matter of any concern, well, sir, I don't know what to say. But Karan Verma might have a few words to say. Karan Verma, would you like to say a few words here?
Yeah, please. Dr. Sumansi Raman used the word innocent. That is what happens with entitlement. Often the entitled feel that this is innocent. It was innocent for Rahul Gandhi to enter in the parliament and push aside an elderly MP, Sarangi ji, and say it was innocent. This wasn't entitlement. It was boring perhaps to walk straight, so he pushed him aside. And Sonia Gandhi, the woman we're talking about, with all due respect, she's been a habitual offender. I'll take you back to 13th April 2002. On the floor of the House, she said about Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was the Prime Minister then, this man has lost his mental balance. We've seen what happened with Sitaram Kesri. You remember how he was roughed up when she had to be anointed as the Congress head, or what happened to the mortal remains of PV Narasimha Rao when they were not allowed. Or if we really go back to Sonia Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi, in 1987, very innocently, because it was boring to go by a normal ship, they used INS Virat for a holiday in December 1987. So this is the streak of innocence and entitlement that runs in the family, Rahul. For innocence, to remove boredom, they dismiss state governments. They impose emergency. They change laws. They overturn Supreme Court judgments. Why? Because they're too bored. Rahul Gandhi is too bored by the normal course of governance.
And Karan Verma, one of them also got up and decided that he didn't agree with the Prime Minister and very publicly, innocently, went ahead and disparaged a ordinance. That also happened. He probably was very bored that day, so he decided to come out and lambast his own
fake news.
Okay, sir, it's fake news. I accept. Okay, fake news. Everything is fake news. But you see, viewers, contempt for an office. Contempt for an office.
Admiral Ramdas is on record stating that it is not fake news.
Don't get into this. Don't get into this, Karan Verma. Don't get into this, because everything that anyone points towards is either dumb psychological analysis or fake news. It's okay. But I just want to say very clearly, viewers, this fits a pattern. If you remember, I think the Prime Minister, Rajiv Gandhi, was one of the only ones to have sacked, in fact, or disparaged, in fact, a top official, a bureaucrat in the public domain. His son decided that he would have nothing to do with a particular policy decision taken by the cabinet of the Prime Minister he was serving, Dr. Manmohan Singh, to the point that Dr. Manmohan Singh on that day spoke to a very close friend of his in government, who has written about it in a book, and said, I want to resign. I feel humiliated. And the friend offered him counsel and said, no, don't do this. So this comes with entitlement, viewers. You can disrespect offices. You can slight someone's way of speaking. And I'm only interpreting what I'm seeing. I'm not blind. Someone might be deaf, but I'm not blind, viewers. What do you see there?
Rahul.
What is the point of having a private conversation, or at least the attempt of a private conversation in front of all the cameras and mics which are thrust in your face? Gaadi mein baith ke kar lijiye. Go into your drawing rooms. Make these comments there. Clearly this was not meant for broadcast, but it was conveniently within the range of all the mics. Viewers, who are we kidding here? And if people are refusing to see this, they must be absolutely blind. not physically, viewers, blinded by prejudice or their own biases. Very quickly, Sanju Verma, don't waste the time of the nation, says Dr. Raman. Other important things to do, other bigger fish to fry. Who cares about who says what about President Murmu? Who cares? Why are you getting excited? I began by asking you this question.
You know, I don't know whether I should find it appalling or amusing that Dr. Raman gave an entire lecture for the first 2 minutes explaining to Rahul Shivshankar about his virtues and vices. But be that as it may, thank you for indulging Dr. Raman. I'm sure I will not be extended that courtesy, Rahul. But on a more serious note, can I just finish, Dr. Raman, please? I did not heckle you. Please show some tolerance.
Okay, sir. Okay. I got it. We all got it. Thank you, sir, for being so benevolent and kind to me. You're very nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
Rahul?
Yeah.
Rahul.
Go ahead, yes.
You know, Rahul, taking off from what Karan said, I think the problem with the Congress is not just about what Sonia Gandhi said about Droupadi Murmu. I think from both sides of the divide, on both sides of the spectrum, Congress has had a problem with institutions. Nehru had a problem with B.R. Ambedkar, calling him a controversial figure and a traitor after his demise. Nehru did not attend either Rajendra Prasad's funeral or Ambedkar's funeral. Sonia Gandhi did not so much as call a formal condolence meet after the demise of Pranab Mukherjee. Then you have Rahul Gandhi and his mother Sonia Gandhi, who did not visit the second Dalit president of India, Ramnath Kovind. The first one was K.R. Narayanan. It took 21 months for Sonia Rahul to pay a courtesy visit to Ramnath Kovind after he was anointed as the president of India.
But Sanju Verma, why are you going so far? Let me tell you, it all sums up by this one act of entitlement. Who can be so more entitled than award one's own self the Bharat Ratna?
Exactly.
I mean, what does that tell you? You crown yourself.
Bear with me.
You crown yourself. I need to move on because I know that we have to go to the most important debate of the day, viewers. Dr. Raman is reminding us and he's counting us down. He says, don't bore the nation with this absolute piffle. So we will go to the biggest debate of the day, viewers, which is on the economy and the eco survey and what comes out of all of that.